At this point, I'm doing a little bit of review to button some things up. Why the curse? I want to come at this from a little different angle. We just got done talking about the need to work through Romans systematically, not just to fully appreciate the death of the old man in Romans 6, but God's intention to kill your dependence on the law. Listen, here's a way of saying it that may help. The law as a means of righteousness is real. If you can fulfill the law, it's a path to righteousness. It's just not a path that anyone can do except Jesus, so he did it for you. And the law as a means to righteousness, therefore, under the new covenant, has no value to God for the sake of relationship, because the law actually removes the need for a relationship. It places you totally dependent on what you know and do. It's in black and white. Once it's in black and white, right? Thank you, God, I'll take that. I can turn my back on you and still have the law. All I got to do is follow this, and I got it. The moment I turn my back on him, I begin to die, no matter how well I do that. And the very act of turning my back on him makes me a rebel while I'm trying to please him. So, it's not that the law is not righteous and good and capable of describing the righteousness of God. It's that the law is useless to God as a means of fellowship with you to produce righteousness in you. He does that through Christ in you, the hope of glory. The law has nothing to say in our present new covenant relationship as how we possess or exhibit the righteousness of God. It has a lot to say about why we had to come to Christ in the first place. But it is not the mechanism by which you walk in righteousness now under the new covenant. And on that note, the curse was a function of the law. It's not a function of sin. This is vital to understand. The curse was a function of the law. It was introduced in the knowledge of good and evil. Sin was the byproduct. This is a practical challenge in discipleship, because now when we sin, we think we have invoked a curse. Well, if you're under the old covenant, you have. That's how it was set up. Blessing for obedience, curses for disobedience. But that's not the kind of righteousness by which we relate to him now. Those aren't the terms of this covenant. So don't miss this critical point. By faith, we are not under Moses. Christ does not replace the law. He completely encompasses it. And by fulfilling it for us, he makes it obsolete to us with its demands, penalties, and requirement. Therefore, righteousness, and with it a clean conscience and unending favor, are not produced by good works or even obedience. That's challenging to say, because grace is leading us to obedience. Grace is going to produce obedience in us. But the moment you think your obedience is producing favor or blessing, you're just subtly off course. Everything is dependent on what he has accomplished, and you laying hold of that by faith and the free gift that he gives. Everything. Now, these little tweaks can take time, and they can, I'm laying out a whole lot of stuff that, practically speaking, is going to take weeks, months, and years for us to ingest and apply, and it doesn't all happen at once. But the clean conscience and unending favor, the righteousness of God, are the result of faith. And we can have confidence in that because those are the terms of the new covenant. The righteous shall live by faith.